Massive GPU price cuts, huge game bundles, and new graphics cards are coming. It's time to look at the best graphics cards to buy in September 2025 and which graphics cards to absolutely avoid. Welcome back to PC Builder, I'm Jason. Now whether you're looking for the best budget graphics card, the best 1440p graphics card, or the best 4K graphics card in September 2025, we've got the pick for you. If you like this video, please give a like and of course subscribe for more cool PC content. Let's jump into it. Let's start with two absolutely insane GPU game bundles that just launched. Now starting on the NVIDIA side, if you buy an RTX 5070 or higher end RTX 50 series graphics card, you get the standard edition of Borderlands 4, a game I'm super excited about. Now you have until September 22nd to purchase a graphics card with the bundle at a participating retailer, and then you must redeem the game code by October 22nd. Now NVIDIA can always extend the deal, sometimes they do. So even if you're watching this after September 22nd, check to see if it's still available. Now the game's selling on Steam for $70, so that's a huge one. Just make sure it's in your cart at the time of checkout. Meanwhile, Intel is giving away Battlefield 6 Standard Edition until September 14th with an Arc A750 and A770 and the newer Arc B570 and B580 graphics cards, along with most Core Ultra 13th and 14th gen CPUs. Battlefield 6 Standard selling for $70 on Steam right now, so it's an insane value, especially bundled with a cheaper graphics card like the B570. But big word of caution on this one, it must come from a participating seller, and I'm seeing a number of listings that actually don't have it, so just make sure it's in your cart at the time of checkout. Most of the ones I checked on Newegg in the US do have it. No AMD game bundle at the time of filming, but if that changes, I will put a note down in the pinned comment below. Let's jump into current GPU pricing, starting with NVIDIA GPU prices, which saw massive price drops in late August to the higher end graphics cards, dropping everything down to MSRP, including the RTX 5090 and RTX 5080. That's in addition to the game bundle, by the way. Starting with the RTX 5090, a number of the lowest end RTX 5090 models were dropped to MSRP in late August, including the non-overclock versions of the Asus TUF and Zotac Solid 5090s. Of course, they sold out very quickly. I was able to grab one for the channel and it's sitting right here. While those sold through, most RTX 5090 GPUs lost about $300 off their prices from our last check in early August, which is a crazy price drop. I'm not sure when the 1999 MSRP models are going to come back in stock. It is possible they are essentially discontinuing the lower end non-overclocked models, but $2,250 might be close enough for RTX 5090 buyers. Meanwhile, the RTX 5080 also received a massive price cut from nearly $1,300 for the cheapest one last month down to its MSRP of $999. There were multiple models available at this price, but many of them have sold out, at least temporarily, though a couple of models remain at the time of filming at that MSRP. And the RTX 5070 and 5070 Ti now have multiple models available at their MSRP, including the Borderlands 4 game bundle. No real change to the rest of the stack. Moving over to the AMD Radeon GPU pricing, and boy does it look bad for AMD this month. Not only do they not have a game bundle, all of their main GPU lineup in the RX 9070 XT, RX 9070, and RX 9060 XT 16GB, they're all over their MSRP, with the 9070 XT still 17% over its $599 MSRP. The 9060 XT 16GB, it's not bad, it's mostly that the two $369 models have sold out temporarily. Meanwhile, AMD is dropping prices on 8GB graphics cards. Over to the Intel GPU prices, and they've shaved off about $10 from the Arc B580, Arc B570, and the Arc A750, which should be coming with the Battlefield 6 bundle, which would make them crazy good value. But the only Arc A750 I can find at $199, it doesn't include the bundle in the Amazon listing, though it is nice to see a decent GPU under $200 once again. Also, the cheapest Arc B580 GPU I can find with the bundle is $259. As the one at Best Buy, it's not currently offering the bundle, but I gladly pay $10 for Battlefield 6 and save $60. Now there might be some new graphics cards launching soon. Some rumors point to an RTX 50 Super Series, mostly with increased VRAM, launching earlier than expected for the holiday shopping season this year. Now, I went over the rumored specs and the estimated performance in our late August Q&A video, which I will leave linked down in the video description if you want a deeper dive on those. My guess is that these rumors, they're just wishful thinking, and we'll likely see them in January 2026 when we expect them. We also have rumors that Intel is going to launch an Arc B770 graphics card this fall, though it isn't clear if that's going to be a gaming or a professional card. Maybe both. I also discussed the B770 in the previous video if you want more details. But the big news is the potential launch of a Radeon RX 9070 GRE 16GB edition. Now this rumor comes from a less than reputable source, but the 9070 GRE 12GB, it did actually launch in China back in May. The rumor is that we're going to get a 16GB version of it on a larger 256-bit memory bus with global availability in late September, sometime in October. This would fill the big gap between the 9060 XT 16GB and the 9070 non-XT 16GB GPUs, as performance for the existing RX 9070 GRE was just under the RTX 5070 and RX 9070. No pricing was rumored, but if I had to guess, given the RX 9070 is $549 and 9060 XT is $349, then I suspect probably somewhere in the middle there, $449 for the 9070 GRE 16GB. Starting with the best graphics card under $300 in September 2025, and I'll pull up our data showing average FPS for 1080p and 1440p for all the GPUs in this price range. Now, the biggest changes here are the price reductions to key GPUs in the budget range. My top choice here, it's still the best cheap 1440p graphics card in the $259 Arc B580. Now, this is especially true if you're at all interested in Battlefield 6 and you can pick it up before the game bundle expires. Intel, you would be really smart to extend that game bundle until at least Battlefield 6 launches in early October. The Arc B580, it's getting a new upscaler update with XeSS 2, and it seems Intel's making a renewed commitment to its Arc GPU lineup. Now, if you don't want an Intel GPU, I think your best bet here, it's the trusty RTX 3060 12GB for $249. Now, that's if you can find it outside the US. No game bundle, but you get DLSS 4 upscaling and 12 gigs of VRAM, though the card, it's slower in raw performance. And I honestly just can't bring myself to recommend an 8GB GPU, but if you absolutely force me to, I'd probably go with the 9060 XT 8GB given how much faster it is than anything else. It has FSR 4 upscaling and it got a price cut. All right, now let's look at the best graphics card under $400 US, which is where you're gonna find the best budget 1440p graphics card in 2025. Now, I've kept in the 3 top graphics cards from the previous categories for comparison, and we also have the cheaper but still absolutely terrible value RTX 5060 Ti 8GB graphics card. It did get a little bit of a price cut. And along with the still crazy good value RX 9060 XT 16GB. But it is $10 more expensive this month. That's mostly because some lower cost models have just sold out temporarily. Though for $379, you get a really nice Sapphire Pulse model, or you get the super short Reaper edition, which will fit into any ITX PC case. I've seen some RX 7700 XT 12GB models floating around for like $349. It has the same performance as the 9060 XT with less VRAM and without FSR 4, so I personally would spend the extra $30 and get the 9060 XT 16GB, but keep an eye on it. If the price drops further, it might be worthy of consideration. All right, moving up to the best graphics card under $500 US. This is essentially the 9060 XT 16GB versus the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB competition for the best 1440p graphics card in the mainstream. Note that I've adjusted my average FPS numbers for the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB upwards slightly. That's due to some recent benchmarks that seem to indicate it's picked up some performance since launch. Possibly that's like game optimizations, it might be drivers, it may even just be the suite of games that was tested that may favor NVIDIA a little bit. But I felt it was fair to give it about 6% more FPS for the 16GB version. If NVIDIA had extended the Borderlands 4 bundle to the 5060 Ti 16GB, I mean, come on, it's a $430 minimum GPU for crying out loud. Then this will be an easy win for the 5060 Ti 16GB. But at $50 difference, with the only real difference being it's very slightly faster and greater game support for DLSS 4, at least right now, I heavily lean to the RX 9060 XT 16GB. But if you do want to go NVIDIA here, check out the next category, because I think you're going to want to spend just a bit more. All right, moving on to the best graphics card under $600, and oh my goodness, this is a spicy one. With the NVIDIA Borderlands 4 game bundle, if you were going to buy that game at $70 and you want a GPU, the RTX 5070 12GB is actually the best 1440p graphics card in the mid-range because it comes out to a $480 price point, taking into account the free game. Now, I still have some future concerns about 12 gigabytes of VRAM at 1440p, but that deal is just so hard to pass up if you have around $550 to spend. If you don't care about Borderlands 4, if you just missed the game bundle or expired, sometimes they do actually sell out early, by the way, then I would stick to my recommendation of the RX 9070 16GB. It's slightly faster, 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and it's both 1440p and 4K gaming capable. There's also now a couple of models available at $599. Now, we wish it was MSRP, of course. If you want NVIDIA, even if you don't don't care about the game bundle, I do think the RTX 5070 12GB, it's enough for rasterized performance at 1440p right now. Just don't expect this to be good at ultra details ray tracing in enthusiast ray tracing games. It just runs out of VRAM. All right, jumping up to the best graphics card under $800 in 2025. And if you can pick up the Borderlands 4 bundle, the RTX 5070 Ti 16GB, it's essentially $20 cheaper than the RX 9070 XT 16GB, which is totally wild. Even if you don't care about the game bundle at only about $50 price difference, I would pick up the 5070 Ti for the increased game support of DLSS 4 over FSR 4. The reason the 9070 XT was so amazing was that it promised RTX 5070 Ti-like performance and upscaling for $150 lower MSRP. But that's only actually a thing if the actual price difference is in fact $150, which it is not. What is extra crazy is that with the game bundle, the 5070 Ti is actually cheaper. AMD 100% needs to cut prices immediately down to MSRP the way NVIDIA just did, possibly even lower if they can't also come out with a competing game bundle that's worth something. Get on it, AMD. All right, moving over to the best GPU 2025 in September for any price. And we finally have the RTX 5080 at MSRP and the RTX 5090 within what I would consider an easy buying range if you were considering spending $2,000 on a graphics card. I did think I'd be more excited about the RTX 5080 once it finally hit MSRP, but the fact that it's not even 15% faster than the RX 9070 XT or 5070 Ti for $250 to $300 more feels a little weird. I know people are buying them all up in a hurry right now, kind of panic buying them, especially with the game bundle. And if you're into enthusiast level ray tracing, but you can't literally double the budget of your GPU to get a 5090, then I think the RTX 5080, it's probably worth it. I keep seeing some people say that they are just gonna go buy a used RTX 4090, which is faster. But let me tell you, check out the prices on used RTX 4090s. They are selling for almost as much as the 5090s are right now. So if you don't mind overspending for the performance, the RTX 5080, it's there. And I think if you want RTX 5090, this is definitely the time to buy one. This is only gonna be the fastest gaming GPU on planet Earth until the RTX 6090 comes out. And this will give you the most bragging rights time while paying the best price. So if you were dreaming of the fastest gaming PC on planet Earth and not spending $1 zillion, there's a number of models readily available starting at $2,249 to about $2,400. And you might even get lucky if one of those MSRP 1999 models comes back in stock. All right, let's play everyone's favorite game. Should you buy now or should you wait? Honestly, despite all the craziness with this year, like the initial paper launch by NVIDIA, then the trade war stuff, which essentially limited gaming GPU shipments to the US, I cannot believe that prices are actually coming down. It's really crazy. This is likely due to improved yields at TSMC on NVIDIA's 4N process for Blackwell, as well as some possible cooling of AI GPU demand. We do have Amazon Prime Day in October coming up in a month, and we got Black Friday following a month and a half later, but by then game bundles might be gone. So GPUs might actually be cheaper right now if you care about the games. All right, starting at the high end, if you want an RTX 5090, go for it. You were probably considering spending, what, $2,700 to $3,000 a couple months ago anyway, and now you saved yourself at least $500. For high-end buyers looking to slightly overpay for the RTX 5080 performance at its MSRP, it's at MSRP with a free game. It's unlikely to get much better value. Just green light all around. For those looking for upper mid-range 1440p or 4K performance, I think the RTX 5070 Ti, it is a strong buy right now with the game bundle at MSRP. Heck, even without the game bundle, it makes a lot of sense. If you wanted an RX 9070 XT, I might hit the brakes and see if AMD counters with price cuts, as I suspect they're going to be forced to do pretty shortly. AMD also has a history of big price discounts on sales like Amazon Prime Day in October that's coming up, where NVIDIA barely gives any sale discounts. For mid-range gamers, I think you really have two strong options. Though the RTX 5070 12GB, it looks nice with multiple models now at MSRP and the free game. I also really still like the RX 9060 XT 16GB for those looking to spend under $400. At the budget end of things, if you can pick up an Intel Arc GPU with the Battlefield 6 game bundle, that is crazy value. I know some people are concerned about driver issues, and if that's the case, I like the RTX 3060 12GB if you don't want to go Intel. Will we see continued price decreases for these graphics cards? I mean, possibly. I'd expect some deals around October Prime Day, but prices look really good right now and they can always go back up. All these graphics cards are linked down in the video description along with the best current GPU values that we can find, and we'll keep updating that throughout September as deals drop. So check out those links for current pricing and availability. Remember to check the pinned comment for any big changes like AMD game bundle or huge price cuts. If you got value out of this video, please give it a like, and of course subscribe for more cool PC content. Like our overview of all the best new PC games in September. We cover the top 7 new PC games in September 2025 and what you need to run them. Check it out, and we'll catch you on the next one.